Kathryn Busby is a graduate student at the University of Arizona studying native bees and the impact of climate change on their habitats.
I'm specifically interested in native bees, and carpenter bees are one of 20,000 species of wild bees in the world, and they're a really important pollinator here in desert systems. They pollinate both crops and natural ecosystems. So carpenter bees make their nests in softwood. So this plant here makes a great habitat for them. They tunnel into the wood using their mandibles to carve it out, which is how they create habitat for other things that might use a cavity. There are different types of native bees, and some of them use cavities that they find. Some of them make their cavities like carpenter bees. So while they're not restricted to this one plant, this is a really good candidate for them to nest in a system like this where there aren't a lot of soft wood sources available. So most of the nests that I find at this site, at this elevation, are in this kind of plant or a related plant. Yeah, so when I find a stalk of this plant, which is Dasyleria wheeleri, I first look for the entrance hole made by a carpenter bee, and if I find one, I think there's probably a nest, or at least was a nest here. Looks like it had actually, it was a pretty successful nest, because I can feel the scallops where that bee has carved out partitions for each larval cell. Well, so far I'm collecting a lot of data. I haven't analyzed all of it yet, but I've got a plan to look at thermal tolerances of these bees and see how climate might actually push them beyond their thermal tolerances. And I'm interested in mapping their distributions in the Southwest to determine how temperature regimes in different areas might affect where they can be. And if we apply to that model a temperature shift that's predicted, where will the bees then be able to exist?